Good evening, everybody, and I would like to welcome you to our information night for our incoming first years for September 2021. And the first thing that I'm going to look at is just to give you a brief overview of the school. A little bit about the school history and our mission and vision here in the school. Things that have changed. We're going to look at the curriculum. We're going to look at the structure of care, communication within the school, and what happens now that you've enrolled your students in RD Community School. So the school was established on this site in 1974 as an amalgamation of 3 existing post-primary schools within the town: St Anne's Secondary School for Girls, De La Salle Boys Secondary School, and RD Vocational School. The original school premises on the current site was built to cater for that amalgamation. Our new extension opened in September 2018, and we've also an ongoing programme of extensive refurbishment and upgrading. We also opened our new playing pitch and walking jogging track in 2018, and now we anxiously await a further extension to cater for the growing needs of our school. You'll see here on this slide the vision and mission of our school and what we are about. And you would also seen that in the admissions policy which was issued to you prior to enrolment. Now, just to talk a little bit about our educational ethos. In RD Community School, we aim to guide each student to be the best that they can be, to help students to achieve their potential educationally, to support students to be happy in school, and to support students to develop into well-rounded young adults who are ready for college, adult and working life after RD Community School. Our school is run by a board of management. It's funded by the Department of Education and Skills. We're a co-educational establishment. We have a very broad curriculum. We're multi-denominational, and we cater for the needs of all in our community. Our school and how we operate is underpinned by a number of policies. You will have seen the admissions policy before you enrolled your student. We have a robust, positive code of behaviour. We have an anti-bullying policy, pastoral care and guidance policy, to mention but a few, subject policies and plans. This year we introduced a bring your own device acceptable use policy, which we will talk about later. We have a health and safety policy and a child safeguarding policies. We also have a health and safety policy and a child safeguarding policy, which are required in law for every educational establishment. We have had a huge amount of change in our school since the 27th of July. In fact, since last March. So COVID happened, as you all are aware, and everything changed. So what changed in our school? We went from 40-minute classes to 1-hour classes. We went from teacher-based classrooms to student-based classrooms. We went from students moving to teachers moving. We went from set breaks to staggered breaks and lunch. We went from no mobile homes to bring your own device to support teaching and learning. We went from lockers to no lockers. We had a change for PE policy, and now you wear your own PE gear on PE day. We went from books in school to books at home or in school. We went from 2 long days and 3 shorter days to 4 long days, and we finish now on Friday at 1 p.m. We went from free movement throughout the school to restricted and planned movement. What will happen next year? We really don't know. It will depend on health advice. It will depend on the changes we as a school community wish to retain, and we will inform you in a timely fashion on these.
Our school runs a 6-year educational programme. We have junior cycle, transition year and senior cycle. In first year, when you come in to join us, you will be placed into a base class. Students within the base classes in first year will generally find that the size of these classes vary from 23 students to 28 students. Students will be placed into these classes on mixed ability. In second and third year, students are banded in the subjects of Irish and mathematics, depending on whether they're taking higher level or ordinary level within these subjects. Junior Cycle is a 3-year programme. At the end of this programme, students will achieve their Junior Cycle results from the Department of Education and their Junior Cycle profile of achievement, and this will be discussed later on in tonight's presentation. Also at Junior Cycle, some students will undertake the Junior Certificate Schools programme, and there are other students who will undertake courses known as the L1 LP programme or the L2 LP programme. The L1 or the L2 LP programmes are generally for a small number of students who have particular learning difficulties, and eligibility onto these programmes will be dependent on individual student needs. These programmes cover areas such as numeracy, literacy, caring for animals, personal care and social skills. At Senior Cycle, the programme will consist of either 2 or 3 years, depending on whether students take the optional transition year programme. If they choose to take transition year, they will spend an extra year here in school, meaning that their time in RD Community School will be 6 years in duration. Some students choose to take the LCA programme or the LCVP programme. And when it comes to Senior Cycle for your son or daughter, we will provide an extensive information night and classes to your student, informing them on what their options are for Senior Cycle. We'll talk now about a concern that a lot of students might have as they're moving into secondary school with us, and that is, how do we place students into their base classes? Generally, we will ask students in their primary schools to complete questionnaires about how they feel coming into RD Community School and maybe who their current friends are. This helps us to ensure that we place your son or daughter with at least one, if not 2, of their friends from primary school. Our choice in terms of placing students into base classes also is informed by the student passport that we receive from your primary school. This year, we have a total of 9 base classes in first year, and we were able to ensure that the size of those classes vary this year from 21 to 24 students. However, we do have to be very careful that we don't place too many students from one particular primary school into one class, because we do want to ensure that as your son or daughter moves into primary school, that they build the capacity to make new friends and develop their social skills. We will now move on to look at the first year subject choice. We have quite an extensive curriculum in first year for our students to taste a wide variety of subjects before making final choices as they move into second year. Our compulsory subjects in first year are mathematics, Irish, English, history, geography, science, business studies, civic, social and political education, SPHE, religious education, well-being and physical education. The optional subjects consist of wood technology, engineering, formerly known as metalwork, home economics, music, art, graphics, formerly known as technical graphics, and applied technology. Our students will choose 2 from this list of subjects above in these options. All students will study a modern foreign language, which will either be French or German. How our subject choice works. In the optional subjects of wood technology, engineering, home ec, art, music, graphics and applied technology, students will choose 2 subjects from this, but they will do that in order of preference. Later in the year, you will be asked to fill in a computerised form where number 1 will be the subject that you really want to do, and maybe number 3 or 4 will be the subject that you will take if you didn't get your first two choices. If you wish to get any more information in relation to the subject content that is a part of a particular subject, you can see the web link that we have there at curriculumonline.ie. In terms of subject choice within our school, the majority of students will get their chosen preferences. It is carried out by a computerised system, and because of that system, it usually means that students do get their choice number 1 and their choice number 2. Our timetable is then formulated based on the choices that our students have made. There are, however, strict limits to the sizes of classes, particularly in practical subjects. So, for example, we can only have 20 students within a home economics class, but within an art class we can only have 24. If a subject is oversubscribed, the computer will then use the random selection to place students into another option, and usually in our experience this means that the student will be placed into option number 3. But again, this is something that is quite rare. We do allow students to change options if there is room in another optional class when they join us in September and October. And that has worked very well for those first years who wished to make those changes this year. In terms of studying a European language, the 2 European languages in offer in our school are French and German. However, if a student is exempt from the study of Irish, they may be exempt also from the study of the Moran foreign language. However, there are a small number of students who do take it in first year and continue with French or German into second year and third year, despite having an exemption within Irish. I'm going to talk briefly just about studying Irish within our school. All students will take this subject unless they have an exemption. But I do wish to make you aware that in general, when students come to us, they will already have had that exemption in primary school. And that exemption will follow through with us here in RD Community School. There will be assessments that will be carried out if there are any concerns in relation to a student studying Irish as they progress through our school. But there are very strict regulations and guidelines that we must adhere to before ensuring that any child will get an exemption. If you do have any queries around your son or daughter's Irish exemption, please feel free to contact us here by email or telephone at the school. A number of you may be wondering what will happen in terms of subject choice when you progress into second year. There are a number of compulsory subjects that students will study, and these are coming from guidelines issued by the Department of Education. These subjects will include mathematics, Irish, English, history, CSPE, SPHE, wellbeing and physical education. In RD Community School, students also take religious education and science. Students will choose 3 optional subjects from the list of subjects that are available on your screen. These subjects include wood technology, engineering, home economics, music, art, graphics, applied technology, French, German, business studies and geography. What you see is that students choose 3 of the optional subjects. They choose from the options that they have studied in first year rather than taking on any new subjects. The majority of our students will choose to continue studying their language, whether that be French or German. But we will hold an information night as students progress into second year to update you on the content that will be within the subjects in this area. Okay, we're going to begin to take a look now at the structure of what our school day currently looks like. What you can see on this slide is that students spend a total of 28 hours per week in tuition. School begins from Monday to Thursday at 8:55. On a Friday, it begins at 8:45. Our school day finishes on Monday to Thursday at 15:40 and ends at 1300 hours or 1 o'clock on a Friday. school buses run according to the structure of our school day. This means that from Monday to Thursday, students will spend 6 classes which last a total of 58 minutes each. They also will have a 12-minute tutorial or wellbeing class. This is generally taken by a teacher known as their class tutor, and this will be explained to you further on what the role of the tutor is. We have 2 breaks during the day. The first break lasts for 20 minutes, but this reduces to a total of 15 minutes on a Friday. Our second break or lunch, which only happens from Monday to Thursday, is 25 minutes long. During both breaks, students do not leave the school at any time, but there is hot food available in a takeaway capacity from our school canteen. A typical first-year timetable can be seen on this slide now. What you see is that students have a total of 18 different kind of subjects on this particular timetable. You can see on a Monday that this student, their first class is Irish, while their last class of the day is English. They will study a range of subjects. Some of these subjects form part of student wellbeing. So, for example, the wellbeing class, Learning to Learn, and civic, social and political education along with PE would form part of those hours. Our students are very busy, as you can see from this timetable, but in general, most students enjoy the variety of experiences that they get to have in first year.
Junior cycle refers to the years 1, 2 and 3 of post-primary education. A new junior cycle programme has now been fully implemented in our school. This includes new course programmes, otherwise known as specifications, for all subjects. The focus throughout the 3 years of junior cycle is on the student being at the centre of the learning experience, and the teacher as the facilitator and supporter of that learning. Students are encouraged and facilitated to develop key skills which are important throughout their education, such as communication, being creative, staying well, managing myself, being literate, working with others, being numerate, managing information and thinking. These key skills are developed throughout their curricular and their extracurricular learning in all subjects. Your child, you will find, will be doing different types of homework activities, involving at times research and presentation preparation. This self-directed learning is a key aspect of the new junior cycle. Student well-being is a priority in junior cycle, both in terms of learning about well-being and learning for well-being. Care of students and student well-being are a key priority in RD Community School and are supported throughout curricular and extracurricular activities. In terms of assessment, there have been significant changes in how students are assessed during first, second and third year of their junior cycle. Students complete what are called classroom-based assessments, or CBAs, during both second and third year, for which they are graded. And further to that, students complete an assessment task for each subject during third year. This means that the focus is no longer on final examinations as it might have been in the past in the junior certificate. These classroom-based assessments, assessment tasks, project work, practical work and oral communication assessments are also included in the assessment of the learning of each student in their junior cycle. In terms of final examinations, most subjects are examined at a common level at the end of third year, with the exception of Irish, English and Maths, which are examined at higher and ordinary level. Following the completion of their junior cycle, each student receives a Junior Cycle Profile of Achievement, a JCPA. This certificate provides students with not only the results of their final examinations, but also the results of their classroom-based assessments, their assessment tasks, and importantly, learning which took place in extracurricular areas of school, such as their membership of teams and membership of committees, which is also recognised. The school will provide a comprehensive booklet, a guide to the junior cycle, to each child in the new year. These will be distributed through the primary schools. Although your child is only beginning their post-primary education, it's really important to consider and think about senior cycle at this point, as it creeps up on you very quickly. We have a number of senior cycle options available in RD Community School. TY, 80% of our students is an optional year, but 80% of our students currently take TY approximately. Leaving Certificate Applied, this is a vocational programme which approximately 12 to 14 students take part in each year. It's a 2-year programme, 5th and 6th year. And we also offer the conventional Leaving Certificate, of course, and finally the Leaving Certificate Vocational Programme, LCVP, which is an 8th subject, which majority of our students who take the LCVP use it for their CAO points. There are 21 option subjects currently available at Leaving Certificate, which you'll see on the slide here, giving students a broad variety of subjects at which they can take at senior cycle. In RD Community School, we put particular emphasis on developing a curriculum which meets the needs of our students. And we spend considerable time ensuring that the curriculum is designed with the needs of the students at the centre. Currently, applied maths runs after school for a small number of students. Agricultural science was introduced 6 years ago and is a very popular subject with our senior cycle students. Being a small town in a rural area, this subject is very relevant to the students who attend our school. Other new Leaving Cert subjects, such as PE and computer science, were introduced for 5th year in this year. Politics and society will be examined for the first time this year. And as your student progresses through RD Community School, technology, which is applied technology for junior cert, will be examined in 2022-2023. After completing their education in RD Community School, our students transition further following a variety of paths. The majority, or 80% of our students approximately, go straight to 3rd level, with some going through the PLC route. Each year, some students also take up apprenticeships after leaving school, while other students enter the world of work. As a community school, the achievements of all students are valued and important to us, as all students have unique abilities and strengths, each striving to achieve their own personal goals.
Student care is an integral part of the support and well-being here of the students in RD Community School, and the student care encompasses the principal, the 3 deputy principals, the relevant year head, the tutors, the school chaplain, the school completion programme, the homeschool community liaison officer, the subject teachers and the 3 guidance counsellors. It's important as care is a very integral part of what we do for the students on a daily basis. Learning support is also important, and a number of our students here in RD Community School have learning support needs. Incoming first-year students may have learning support needs, and it's important as parents and guardians, if you have psychological reports, speech and language reports, occupational therapy reports, that they're handed into school as soon as possible along with the enrolment process. Any student who received learning support in primary school, it'd be important also that parents let us know those details. If you have an Irish exemption, please send in that documentation to us as well. So it's important that we have a firm ready for your students in September of next year. Support in RD Community School is based on need, and learning support is offered during Irish time or sometimes during French and German. We will be making contact with the relevant parents over the next number of weeks following the enrolment process, and if we don't make contact with you, please pick up the phone or email us in at admissions@rdcs.ie. The class tutor is an important part of the care system here in RD Community School, and was recently introduced under the restructure of our care and a restructure of our timetable. The class tutor is regular contact, and that is daily contact with the individual students and class group. They focus on weekly or daily themes, they take the role each day as an important part of our attendance, and they monitor the student progress on an ongoing basis. They build a relationship with the individual student and the class group, and the person to go to should an issue arise.
Hello everybody, my name is Miss Goodman. Currently I am 6th year head, and next year I will be the year head of the incoming first years. I am a teacher of Leaving Cert Biology, Leaving Cert Ag Science and Junior Cert Science, and in my role as year head I am involved in the general care of students. I cover areas such as behaviour management, monitoring of attendance and dealing with general day-to-day issues, as well as contacting parents and liaising with parents in relation to certain matters. I look forward to meeting you in September. I'm sure you're all very excited about the new adventures ahead for you.
Good evening. I'm Mia Glass, the Chairperson of Student Council. I represent the students in the school on Student Council, which allows students to use their voice. It acts as the link between students and management. We work in partnership every day to make the school a better place. During my happy years in the school, I have noticed and appreciated how students are listened to by management. This school works as a community of parents, teachers and students. I am honoured to be a student in this school where student welfare is of paramount importance. Your child will receive the best education possible in a co-educational, caring school, as that's what I've experienced in my time here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, prospective parents and students, and welcome to RDE Community School's Open Night. My name is Paul Kenny and I'm head boy here in the school. It is a great honour to stand before you as a representative of the student leaders to open our school to you this evening. It means a lot to have the chance to give back to a school which has given us so much over the past 5 years. This school is primarily a centre of learning, but also is about training us to be good citizens. The duties and responsibilities which we take on as student leaders are preparing us for our future lives. I'm a Leaving Cert student preparing for the most important exam of my life, and that is my priority at the moment, but other aspects of school life help to make this easier, like extracurricular activities. It's really important to escape from the books at times. The Photography Club, the Amber Flag Committee and the Green Schools Committee are just a few places where there's a chance to escape. There's truly so much to offer here in ACS and something for everyone. After all, this is a community which is rooted in the core of RDE, and we encourage all children in the area to join our community. While many of our students prosper in the areas of creativity, others like myself have prospered on the sports field. Sport is a blessing for me in school, and there's a wide range of sports available here. Gaelic, soccer, rugby and athletics to name but a few. Apart from injuring your hand for that night's homework, sport helps our students in many ways, but it is also wonderful when success is achieved. 3 years ago, our school's Gaelic team made history by winning the All-Ireland CE Championship, and Mr Rob's senior rugby team overcame their losing curse after numerous defeats in finals. These successes would not have been achieved without the support of staff here in ACS. I hope all future students will enjoy their time here as much as I have. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Avian Scanlon and I'm head girl in this school. I was very honoured to take on this role as a student leader and spokesperson earlier this year. Having attended RDE Community School for the past 5 years, I've been very lucky to experience many of the incredible things this school has to offer. There are many things myself and many other students love about school life here. Personally, I love the passion of teachers and faculty. They work hard to provide a great education as well as a huge amount of support for their students. Classes can really be brought to life by the enthusiasm teachers have for their subject and their desire to see you succeed. In this school, there is a huge emphasis put on mental well-being. Whether you are stressed with schoolwork, worried about your future, or simply going through a rough time, there are many amazing support systems that can help you reach your full potential, both in school and out. My absolute favourite part of my school experience has been TY. TY is a year full of creativity, allowing students to explore a wide variety of subjects, as well as giving them the chance to make unforgettable memories. From experience, TY is a really fun year that allows you to explore what you truly love without academic pressure. Of course, it's hard to talk about everything you will experience without addressing what we are all living through right now. This year has been a strange and scary time for us all, but life will go on. Together, we will work hard to keep ourselves and others safe and make the school as welcoming as we can for you come September.
Extracurricular activities and trips are offered at RDE Community School. These include clubs and societies, study clubs and homework clubs. However, due to the restrictions of COVID-19, they are currently not on offer, and we hope in the near future to have them back up and running. Communication is a key for your enrolment of your student here in RDE Community School. And the most important tool you can have is to check their individual student journal on a daily basis, sign off on any reports and make sure the students are writing down their homework and actually doing their homework at night also. We'll also issue general letters to parents and guardians in relation to changes, for example in COVID and that, and it's important that you ensure that you read these and implement them. Our school calendar will be issued prior to enrolment, and it's important also that you look at the details in relation to the year ahead. Various newsletters or individual letters may be issued to parents as well, and it's important that you take these details in. If we need to contact you, we may use our text messaging system as well, and it's important that you correspond with us as soon as possible if there is issues that need to arise. Currently, we're not operating parent-teacher meetings because of COVID-19, and we hope next year that this will be back up in place. And we also will issue reports. Over the last couple of years, the school have moved to an online system of the school app and the VSware system. These are two different systems of communication, but are the main forms of communication between you as the stakeholder and the school. They're a safe platform. And on the app, you'll be allowed to enter in the details of your son and daughter's absences in advance so they'll be able to communicate with the school on a daily basis. All reports and subject options, as indicated by Ms Duffy, will be available through VSware. A text message will be sent to you with access codes later on next year, so you'll be able to access that and communicate with the school. In relation to the admissions process and what's going to happen next, we have now issued you letters of offer. They will conclude at 5 p.m. on November 27th next, and you must return them to the school prior to that date. We will then input all enrolment details into the Department of Education and Skills system. The department then, in turn, will allocate that to our VSware system. This will issue a secure password to you, which we will forward on to you. As Ms Duffy has indicated already, your subject choice will be done electronically through VSware in January, and it's important you get that details back into us prior to enrolment. Assessment tests ordinarily take place in January or February, and as indicated already, are unlikely to happen in the current format due to the COVID-19 restrictions. Information on the school costs, uniform, start date will also issue in mid-June via the VSware system. For students who wish to receive school transport to the school, it's important information now included. You must live in excess of 4.5 kilometres from the school to be justified to having school transport. The school has to be the nearest school to you, and you apply to the Bus Éireann website under the school transport before the end of April next. Students will be either eligible or concessionary. Eligible means that RD Community School is the nearest school to you. Concessionary means that there is a post-primary school nearer to you. In the past, concessionary tickets have been issued, and then where students are deemed eligible, those concessionary tickets are deemed ineligible. Therefore, you may be given a place on a school bus as a concessionary, but if somebody else is deemed eligible and lives less or lives more than 4.5 kilometres from the school, then you may not be a place on that bus. Bus Éireann will issue invoices in July. You must pay or submit up-to-date medical card details by the end of July, and there is a strict time frame in relation to that. Bus Éireann is responsible for the school transport. The school has no input into this process. And tickets then for the next year will not be issued until late August or early September.
I will just explain to you a number of the systems and structures we have in place to support learning. The school offers a full book rental scheme from first year to sixth year. The cost this year was €80. School costs, a list of costs will be issued to you in June, and we aim as a school to keep these costs as low as possible at all times. All our school costs are payable through the app. Our uniform is something which we very much pride ourselves in. The full uniform is available from the local retailers. We have a PE uniform, and we also have a school jacket. And it is easier overall for parents and students if everybody wears the uniform in accordance with our positive code of behaviour. Now, just in preparation from first year, these are some suggestions we would make. Organisation can be a problem for some students, so we would ask you to work with your son and daughter between now and when they come to us in September on organisation. Start small and the big things will happen afterwards. It is the one thing that holds back students from progressing in first year when they find organisation difficult. Expect high standards from your students, regardless of their ability. Expect them to work towards that ability. Have a routine of homework and study from the very beginning when they start here, and just ensure that they have a space that's free from phones, from television, from PlayStations and from noise, where they do their homework, and insist that they do study from the very beginning of first year. A very regular sleep routine and a bedtime routine free again of social media, PlayStation, Xbox and television is so important. And the number of students that we would have coming in here who are not able to cope with the day because they've been up very late, unbeknownst to their parents, on social media, playing the PlayStation or watching television, and it really impacts on their school life. It's very important to agree and set boundaries on the use of the internet and social media with your student. One of the bits of advice that we give parents is to know and double check where your child is at all times. You can't sometimes, no matter how honest they are, depend on their word. It's always worth double checking. Encourage your students to keep some of their out-of-school activities. And while these have been very curtailed at the moment, it is really, really important that they keep up their interests. And it is one of the things that happens with teenage children is that they drop out of the activities that really help them to socialise, mix and support their well-being. Also encourage a healthy diet and exercise, including breakfast before school. Now, we always had an induction programme and we always ran this late May, early June in the local primary schools, and also we brought a number of students who were in smaller primary schools or who were coming on their own to RD Community School. We brought them in together at the beginning of June. We don't know what we can do next year really at this moment in time, but we will have an online transfer programme if we don't manage to meet the students in person. Finally, I think it's really, really important that you talk to us about anything that may affect your students' transition to RD Community School. Sensitive issues will be treated in confidence. It's important that you tell us about friendship or conflict issues. Or if friendships change over the summer, let us know. It is very difficult to move students from base class to base class once they have been placed there. So it's better to let us know beforehand. It is really, really important that if your child has a medical issue, which will impact during the school day or which may affect their well-being, that you let us know. And also anything else that may impact on your child settling into RD Community School. Contact us, please. We do a robust handover with the primary schools every year, and we are very thankful to our primary school principals and sixth class teachers who put an awful lot of time and effort into meeting us, either online or face-to-face, to discuss your child's progress before they come into RD Community School. We will also get educational passports from the primary schools, and you will have a part in that as parents and guardians, as will your students, and we will also get a copy of their sixth class report, and that is a requirement in legislation as well. We've been through an awful lot here tonight, but you may still have questions and you may still need clarification on aspects of this presentation or other items that we may not have discussed. So please, I would encourage you, use our email address at admissions or ring the office and leave a message and we will get back to you. Can I finally thank you for listening to us tonight and for taking part in this webinar. And I hope that we have a long, happy relationship with you as family and also with your student when they join RD Community School. Thank you.